So there's this pretty widespread theory that Greg is a sociopath, so I decided to continue this extreme effort post of a series by telling you why this theory might just check out. Now, a sociopath is defined as someone who lacks a sense of moral responsibility or social conscience, oftentimes hurting others with little to no remorse at all. And there are plenty examples of these things happening throughout the series. In the 5th installment of the series, Greg fills his plate with deviled eggs at a neighbor's birthday party, but because he didn't like them, he dumps the entire thing into a plastic plant when no one is looking. I mean, I don't know, I feel like the garbage can is the better option, but maybe that concept is too hard for him to understand. Anyways, eventually a few weeks later, those eggs started to rot, and they just couldn't figure out where that horrible smell was coming from. So they hired a professional carpet cleaner, but when that didn't work, they thought it was a dead mouse in the walls, so they tore those down too. And when they just couldn't figure it out, they said, yeah, okay, let's dip. And so they moved out. The worst part is Greg just watched as all of this was happening. I mean, he really could have said something before they had to rip their walls open, or even move out. And what's even worse is that he just watched them as they took the plastic plants filled with eggs with them. Honestly, my real question is how they didn't realize that the smell was coming from the plant though. I mean, the guy was literally holding it. Honey, this plant smells like shit. Yeah, they tend to do that sometimes. As long as the outcome benefits Greg, then it really doesn't matter what happens to anyone else. Here's another example. Greg wants to be the treasure of his school just to antagonize jocks. And instead of campaigning for himself like literally everyone else, he resorts to slandering his opponent instead, drawing pictures of him mishandling the school's money and warns everyone about how he had lice in 2nd grade. Which somehow makes him unfit to be a treasure. I don't know. As long as the outcome benefits Greg, he doesn't care who has to take the fall for him. This again is perfectly displayed when Greg is performing for his school play. Manny stands up and shouts Bubby, and without hesitation makes it seem like Manny was talking to him instead of Greg. Which, honestly, that's some quick thinking, as it led to that kid getting bullied a few days later instead of Greg. And, instead of feeling even a little bit of remorse, all he can think about is that he's relieved that he isn't the one getting picked on. Not only that, but during the play, instead of following the lines, he goes completely quiet and ruins the entire play by throwing apples at the star. Which, I mean, she kind of deserved it. And while everyone a part of the play and the audience went home visibly upset, only one man went home with a grin on his face. Now, another common trait found in sociopaths is narcissism, which is often displayed by a lack of care for others and how they use kindness as a tool for manipulation. Which is interesting because we pretty much never see Greg do anything intentionally kind for anyone. The only time we ever see him do anything remotely kind is for his extended family, inviting them all over to his birthday party, shoveling snow for them, and even invites his grandmother over for dinner. Okay, wait, that's kind of a lot of things. Maybe I was wrong. Well, I probably would have been if it wasn't for the fact that all these acts are shams. He doesn't do these things out of the good of his heart. He doesn't invite his extended family to his party because he loves them. He does it to maximize the amount of gifts he gets. But it's also because he really only has one other friend. And a party with just one other person is basically a date. Anyways, hey, he shovels snow for them. What about that? But it's only so that he could get better Christmas gifts. And he only invites his grandmother over for dinner because his dad won't get mad at him when his mother is over. Which is actually kinda smart. Greg, I swear, if I see you dancing at the strip club one more time...
Let your son get his bag, you fucking limp dick!
And now, everything I've mentioned is pretty bad. But what's arguably even worse than all of this is the way he treats his best friend, Rally. Greg essentially views Rally as being an entirely lower status than himself, forcing Rally to carry him up hills and thinking of him as no more than a pet. No, seriously, he wrote a script where he and Holly Hills are married and Rally plays as his dog. That's just not normal. This is something I can imagine happening at a furry convention or something.
What is actually going on?
Greg basically just abuses Rally for his own enjoyment. Now, most people are familiar with Greg's fun game of throwing a ball at Rally as he zooms down a hill, leading to Rally's arm breaking. Greg hardly showing even a glimmer of remorse, and instead attempts to capitalize on Rally's newfound popularity gifted to him from his broken arm. Here, Rally is staying the night at Greg's house, and Greg notices how Rally kicks the pillow every time he gets downstairs. And like the really cool prankster he is, he puts a dumbbell under the pillow. Just a dumbbell, right there. So that he can watch as Rally just full power kicks the weight. Screw stubbing one toe, Rally just smashed all his toes at once. And Greg just standing there, smiling. Greg just using Rally. I mean, this is literally how he sees him. Bro, what is this, and why is Greg drawing this? Now here, Greg and Rally are working as safety patrols and get all these benefits, but when Greg gets called out for harassing kids, he's accidentally mistaken for Rally. Now, Greg wasn't actually sure what to do in this situation, but when Greg asked his mom what he should do in this situation, Susan told Greg to simply do the right thing, which in Greg's mind means to let Rally take the fall for this one, making Rally apologize to these random kids and then loses his job as safety patrol. And after all this, Greg has the audacity to tell him that this was a learning experience for both of us. I don't know how Rally hasn't just, Greg, you are a terrible friend, and I hate you. Also, another very common trait of sociopathy is that they struggle to understand other people's emotions and can't decipher between right and wrong. He made Rally really upset, but just can't see that. He goes home and happily tells his mother that he did the right thing, and then goes and gets ice cream with her. He honestly thinks that he's doing the right thing. It should be fairly obvious to most of us that Greg is in the wrong here. But that's just the thing. Greg isn't normal. Before I end this video, one thing that's interesting to note is the fact that Greg never smiles. His face is pretty much the same throughout the entire series. But notice how the few times he actually smiles throughout the book is when he's somehow hurting others, seemingly getting joy from this. And this isn't a coincidence either. In pretty much all of these situations I use as an example, he was smiling. And other than times like these, he pretty much never does. Just something to think about. Alright, video over. Me and my homie went through like every single book multiple times, and there's a bunch of different examples, so expect a sequel. So sub for more, like the vid if you do like these, I guess. I don't know, man. Personally, I think my other videos are good too, just as good if not better, so check those out. Anyways, I don't know. That's it. See y'all later. Take it easy. Peace. And audible shout out to Tier 3 Patreon Line for his school play. Manny stand. Fuck.